dial it once. If they don't answer, then I'll go ahead and put phone burner for it to dial the second time. But while it's dialing that second time, I'll go ahead and text them on my personal line, letting them know, hey, it's Hannah. I'm the state local representative trying to get a hold of you. So that, and I learned this from Brandon Kitchings, whenever you do that, your name will pop up on their phone more than likely while you're dialing them that second time. So it went from a number they don't recognize to a text message and a number that's saying maybe Hannah. So the chances of them picking up is a lot better.
That's a pro tip, right? All right, you guys, I'm sitting here with Hannah Lantier out of Dallas, Texas. She is a top producer of the FFL America agency. And today she's going to be diving all into her lead flow, the word track she used, sales script, the tangible stuff that you can listen to over and over and over again to get the exact word tracks and habits that she does to succeed at a high level. So Hannah, you ready to dive in?
I am.
Okay, perfect. So first things first, Family First Life, we are a lead-based business. Mom, dad, aunts, and uncles are great, but trust me, your Uncle Billy doesn't want to buy 7 policies. At some point, you got to get some leads, people who actually want your stuff. So talk to me a little bit about your lead flow as a top producer. How much, what days do you buy, maybe what times a day? The specific details of the leads. So someone was trying to duplicate your exact success, they can listen to this and go do it exactly.
Okay. So it took me a while to find my lead flow. So if you haven't found it yet, don't worry, you're going to do it. You just have to want it. I wanted to say that first because it's not always easy finding your lead flow, right? So a lot of trial and error, but for me, what works is me working.
Okay.
So in a sense of whatever I decide to buy that day, whether it's I do like a lot of the 1 month, 3 month CRMs for some reason. I just connect with those type of people very well, in a sense of people who are on Social Security, disability, fixed income, things of that matter. However, connecting with people that are looking a little bit more than just for the basics, that's where I really grew my skills as far as how to explain products to people. But anyways, specifically lead flow, 1 month, 3 month CRMs. I also like to do some mortgage protection if there's any left. Those are very hard to get. You have to stay on top. So check in at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. when you wake up, 12 a.m., 10 p.m. when you go to bed. It's really just about if you need leads, buy them. I try to spend, when I first started part-time, it was 500 to 800, and then I built capital up, and now 1,000 to 1,500 on leads.
Okay, so right now 1,000 to 1,500 on leads per week.
Correct.
Okay, do you divide it all at once, or it sounds like you're kind of checking multiple times throughout the week?
So I'll do 500 and then 500. That's how I like to do it. And then if I can spend a little bit more, like 15, then I'll do like 700 or 500, just kind of.
For sure. Okay. And you mentioned something funny because you said I actually kind of like the 1 month and 3 month internet leads. I like the people on a fixed income. So many people want to like hightail out of there and just say no way. If they're not checking hand for 500 a month, I don't want it. But you like those kind of leads. So talk to us a little bit about why do you like those leads? How do you relate to them a little bit? Because right now, mental block for some people may be, I don't want to work old leads on a fixed income, but they just flip their mindset a little bit and hear the success you're having with them. That opens up a huge world of possibility. So how do you relate to those? How do you work them? What kind of ROI do you see on that?
So the mindset behind it is that they're a family that needs help. And it's a blessing to be able to buy leads. And it's more of a blessing to even pick the people we want to work to if we wanted to. So I think of it as, these people need help. Like I said, they're a family that needs help. So I just help them. Just knowing that all families need your help is really what's going to allow you to work any lead appropriately.
That's good, though. It's good to hear that regardless of lead type, it's not so much the lead type that matters as much as how much you're spending in leads, because ROI is going to be there regardless.
Correct.
So good. And then you work them. Do you work those with phone burner?
Yes.
Okay. So on average, on a typical dial day, how many dials are you doing, and how many like leads is that you're putting in a homeowner? Because you need a lot of leads, right?
Yeah.
Do you need like, what if I bought like 30 leads? Is that enough?
Then you're wasting the money.
I'm wasting my money. What about but how
Not
about 60
50,
leads?
no. You
Not
have to
60?
do 100 to 120.
Okay.
100 to 120. When you get to the 120 mark, it's a lot to handle just at once, in the sense of, not saying you can't do it, but to thoroughly go through your leads, make sure you're on top of your follow-ups, if any, make sure you're redialing the leads you just bought. I would say to start with 100 to 120. Let's say you get through them, you sell, you protect a family, and you only have 50 to 70 leads out of getting all your no's, then yeah, go ahead and buy, 100 more if you want.
So you're not buying 300 at a time and just calling them all once. You're doing it in batches of 100 to 120 and trying to hit those leads. Like, I mean, how many times are you calling those before you decide I'm ready for another batch? Because a mistake I made, full transparency, is I didn't buy leads often enough when I was new, because in my brain, I'm like, I'm going to squeeze every dollar out of this. So there's a fine line between working your leads thoroughly versus creative avoidance, trying to just avoid buying leads by working my leads thoroughly.
Right. So what I do personally is I call them twice and text while that second ring is going. That way I'm very apparent to, I'm trying to get a hold of you. If they don't answer, I'll dial again during the afternoon, no text message. And then again at night, I'll dial through 2 more and a text message trying to set an appointment for the next day.
Sure.
So within the first day or 2 of you having those leads is when it's very important to call them 3 times on the day, 3 separate times.
Okay.
Otherwise, the chances of you getting a hold of them, not only in reality, but also in your head, goes a little bit down too, right?
Gotcha. And every time you're calling them, so morning, afternoon, evening, are you triple dialing each time? Is it just one time and then the text?
I'll dial it once. If they don't answer, then I'll go ahead and put phone burner for it to dial the second time. But while it's dialing that second time, I'll go ahead and text them on my personal line, letting them know, hey, it's Hannah, I'm the state local representative trying to get a hold of you. So that and I learned this from Brandon Kitchings. Whenever you do that, your name will pop up on their phone more than likely while you're dialing them that second time. So it went from a number they don't recognize to a text message and a number that's saying maybe Hannah. So the chances of them picking up is a lot better.
That's a pro tip right there. There's someone watching this that never thought to text their lead while it was dialing, and they're going to now implement that and get more pickups. That's a pro tip.
And me personally, I don't know how it is on the Android, but on the iPhone, if someone's calling me and I don't know them, you press the message button. If there's already a message right there explaining who you are, again, more chances of them picking up.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who has an Android that makes money, but I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, but kind of not really, but kind of, but not really, but kind of. Okay. Total tangent there.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I was going with that. Team iPhone. But anyways, let's get into a little bit of role playing, because obviously working those kind of leads, I'm sure you get objections, right? Okay. So what everyone wants to know, because here's the thing, at the end of the day, everyone thinks that there's good leads and there's bad leads, but there's no such thing as a bad lead. It's just you're not properly trained on how to overcome objections. In my opinion, if you knew how to overcome objections, you wouldn't care what kind of lead it is, because whatever's thrown at you, you're like a ninja, you can handle it. So you don't become a ninja overnight. You don't become a ninja listening to this one time. Like you said, you're doing podcasts all the time. You're dialing every day. You're getting the repetition. So for someone watching this replay, this next part here, watch this over and over again, because we're going to be role playing. I'm going to throw her some objections. She's going to handle them like the objection ninja that she is. And then find some other people that you relate to, and go ahead and watch their videos as well about phone scripts, objections, things like that. It's just repetition over and over and over again. There are no shortcuts for this. So this is, at this point, months of doing hundreds, if not 1,000+ dials a day to get to these ninja skills. So, all right. So I'm going to be your 1 to 3 month old internet lead that you're dialing. That's what you dial a lot of.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. So I'm going to be that lead. So, all right.
Okay. Ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah. Who's this?
Hey, Alex, my name is Hannah. I'm just the local state rep to actually get that request you put in for the state regulated life insurance programs closed out. Were you looking for just yourself or a spouse and child as well?
You said this was for the state what?
This is for the state regulated life insurance programs. So this is to cover your final expenses.
Yeah. I was looking at that a while ago, but I've already got that taken care of now.
Okay, perfect. So it's actually my job to close out the request and stop the phone calls. What carrier did you end up going with when you got it put in place?
Well, we didn't actually end up going with anything. We were looking at some options, but it just didn't really make sense at the time.
Okay, perfect. Was that because of price or you didn't think you could qualify?
It was mainly price, and we were just trying to get some quotes, and for me and my wife, and we're on a fixed income, so I just we just got so many phone calls, we just got tired of it, and just kind of just forgot about it, but just wasn't really for us.
Perfect. So I more so work with people specifically on a fixed income, whether it's disability, retirement, or social security. Now, when you said you were looking for you and your wife, were y'all looking just to cover the basics?
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down to budget. We're just trying to get like our funerals covered. We had someone who died in our family a couple months ago, so we were just kind of looking around.
Gotcha. Well, first of all, my condolences. I know it's not ever easy. Secondly, do you usually make decisions with your wife, or are y'all usually?
Yeah. We make decisions together.
Okay.
She's right here, actually.
Okay, perfect. So if you could go ahead and put me on speaker, I'll tell you a little bit about who I am specifically and how I can help you out. Just let me know when you're ready.
Cool. So I'm gonna pause there. So first off, you guys, that was awesome. I'm trying to think of dropping HL in the chat to acknowledge Hannah for just again handling that like a pro, cool, calm, and collected. So awesome job on that. Couple key things that I noticed, and then if there's anything that you do specifically that maybe I didn't catch, you can let me know as well. But every objection, what was the first word you said? Perfect. It's always perfect.
Yeah.
Everything they say is right according to plan. Perfect. Perfect. I don't want it. Perfect.
Yeah.
I've already got that. Perfect. I'm not interested. Perfect. Oh, stop calling me. Perfect. That's why I'm calling. Trying to get you off the list, right?
Yeah.
So always perfect. And people always try to say, well, that's okay. Or no, it's just, and I'm like, no, that's okay is not perfect. Perfect is perfect. PERFECT.
Yeah.
Do you ever say wonderful or do you say perfect?
Perfect.
It's perfect, right?
Every time.
Okay. Just got to emphasize that because some people try to get cute with it. And any other word that's not perfect is not perfect, figuratively and literally.
I've even tried no worries, but even when you say that, you're bringing up the word no to them and you're bringing up the word worries.
Yep. And the subconscious can't filter that and they hear the word no and they start to worry.
Yeah.
No, it's perfect.
Perfect.
That's always, everything is perfect all the time.
Yep.
It's like an all you can eat meat buffet.
It's perfect. Well, no, it's not.
Oh,
perfect.
She's vegetarian. I just got her. Oh. Well, I was teeing that up.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah. Oh, it's an all you can eat meat buffet. I thought you were vegetarian. Oh, okay. That's funny. I got you there. I got you. So okay, so perfect. Another thing I noticed is how your tone. You matched my tone. If I was a little bit louder, would you have been a little bit louder?
Yes.
Cool. So mirroring, right? You got to mirror their voice. So if they pick up the phone, hello.
Hey, Alex.
Right. Versus hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just kind of match their tone.
Correct.
Right. Good. Love that. Now, for an older person, you typically talk a little slower versus like a younger person.
I talk slower just initially because you want to slow them down as well. So it just really puts off the sense of like, look, I'm just doing my job. I want to make sure you understand what I'm saying. Because a lot of people, when they get on the phone, they speed up, try to get through it. They're in sales, so they're worried about this, they're worried about that. When in reality, when you pick up somebody at all, that's a gold mine itself. So you want to make sure to account for that. Slow
them down. If you try to like speed up to match their pace, they're going to speed you right off the phone.
Exactly.
Because they're busy, I'm busy. Up to I can't hear you, got to go by. But slowing them down, they actually stop what they're doing and take a second to listen. So it's good. Okay. And then there's one other like key line in there that I think is important, especially when it comes to aged leads. You mentioned something about getting off the list or something like that. Explain to me the mindset on that and like the word tracks you use for that.
So I always like to call people with an objective. And when you're getting someone on the phone and they see the objective, they're more than likely to stay on the phone with you. if you're getting on the phone and telling them also something that they don't want to necessarily hear, they're also just going to hang up on you. So whether these people are getting a lot of phone calls or not, you're giving them phone calls, you're giving them text messages. So the problem that I don't want to say problem, but the situation you created,
Words matter.
right. The situation that you created as far as how you look to them is also, you want to solve that too, right? So they may not know that you're calling them that day, but when you're calling them with an objective, hey, my job is just to get this closed out for you. They're like, okay, yeah, like please, like let's do what we need to do to close it out.
They go from like being this close to hanging up on you to being like, wait, you're the one that gets me off the list. What do you need?
Well, I give them my help immediately. My hand is out to them immediately because I'm immediately helping them in the phone calls, whether I'm able to get them protected or not.
Yep, that's something that I've started doing a lot as well. And just the entire tone of someone changes almost immediately if they're hearing what you're saying. If they're not hearing what they're saying, and they're going to hang up or hang up regardless, right?
Yeah.
But if they're actually listening and they hear perfect, that's the purpose of my call. My goal is to review this information with you to get you off the call list so you stop getting these phone calls.
I never say call list.
Oh, okay.
Because when you say call list, that gives them the ability to say, take me off your list. When in reality, we're not normal telemarketers or we're not normal salespeople. We have leads, we have an actual file for you open. When you take it away from the list and make them more
human.
Yes, correct.
So what's the exact word track you use? Because I just misspoke. I want to make sure you get it
right. My job is just to get your request closed out. Always make sure to say your request, because you're not just getting, some file made up. Like you put the request in. This is a request for information on coverage.
Good. That's awesome. Okay. Let's fast forward in the presentation a little bit. You got Jim and Mary sitting down on speakerphone. We're not going to go through the entire presentation because that would be too long, right? But what are a couple key points you make sure to hit on, whether it's in your setup or during the application? What are a couple Hannah-isms, maybe 2 or 3 Hannah-isms that people can start applying immediately to get a higher closing rate?
Hannah-isms, I like
that. Yeah.
So one thing that I've recently started to do that works for me, the social is always a larger, problem for agents to get across. So what I've started doing was, instead of just straight up asking for it, I always ask, hey, are you a U.S. citizen? Yes, haha, make them laugh a little bit. Okay, perfect. And your social for verification purposes. And I just let them say it. And what I'll even say before I ask, so let me back up. Before I ask if they're a U.S. citizen, I always tell them, okay, perfect. If it's America, we're going to go ahead and get a text message sent over to you or an email, or I'll bring up, if you're approved, the policy doc, I bring up something about the company getting to them before I even ask for their social, because it gives them comfortability of, hey, I'm not just telling it to a person, I'm actually telling it to the company. So a lot of people I've seen,
and before they give something, they're going to get something in return.
Correct. Yeah. And people like that. People like getting something for nothing. So that's what I do for them.
That's fair. Okay, cool. I like how that. So what if someone does say, ooh, you know what, I don't get my social over the phone?
Okay, perfect. I completely understand. The state does require you to, make sure that you know who you're speaking to. Go ahead and go on, Texas Department of Insurance, so you can type in my information. I don't ask them. I don't tell them that I'm going to make them check my information and then go back to it. I just bring it up. Hey, no worries. Or I try to say perfect. Yep. The state does require me to make sure you verify me. Go ahead and go on Texas Department of Insurance, put in my name and my license number. I just want you to see that I'm an active agent.
So you take right back control, and you're not asking them, you're telling them.
Correct.
Like this is what, if we're moving forward, this is how we're moving forward.
Correct.
So good. Okay. What about bank info? You ever get any objections with the bank info?
Of course. When it comes to the banking info, I try to bring out their why a lot. And I also try to keep it as simple as possible. Yeah, it's just for the application. And if that doesn't work, then that's where you bring back up their why. Like, Okay, perfect. This is just for the application. I know that this was very important for you to get this coverage in place for your daughter. So, that's what we need to do. Again, what bank are you with? So I can make sure we have the correct routing number.
Very direct.
Mhm.
Very direct. I used to try to be like a wordsmith and have this beautiful, elegant word track to try to get people to like no, we need to get this to finish the application to make sure your daughter's protected. What's your bank?
Right. Because I mean, at that point, you have to
They're either
think,
in or they're out.
yeah, at that point, you have to think of yourself as the underwriter, not the salesperson. So you're just trying to do your job and see if they even qualify.
And we keep using the word just, which is another tip. When you just something, it I don't want to say diminishes, but it makes it like it's not a big deal. Yeah, we're just trying to finish this application.
Correct.
Yeah, they just need this to get this done.
That's all they need.
Versus, no, they need your bank. Like that's way more aggressive. And yeah, they just need this.
Yeah, they just need to make sure there's no fraud involved. That makes sense, right? And they'll be like, oh yeah, like it does make sense.
Yeah, good. How do you conclude your phone calls to cement a policy and reduce chargebacks?
So I always ask them how I did. I make it very like I'm in a cubicle, someone's listening to my phone calls. So, hey, Alex, I do have to ask you two more things. One being on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. How do you feel like I did with you today?
I'm very happy with everything. I'll give you a 10.
Okay, perfect. So I'm really glad, that you took the time to take care of this and protect, your family. So I have, two favors, one being to make sure to save my number. That way, if I need anything from you or vice versa, you know who I am, I know who you are. Fair?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Secondly, I do want you to give my number to your beneficiaries. That way, God forbid something does happen, they know exactly who to contact. Okay. I am your voice for the company and I will be taking care of your family. God forbid anything was to happen. Okay. The third thing is I will send you a policy summary. That way, you know exactly what you have, exactly what we've applied for before it even gets to your door. Okay.
What does that look like? Policy summary.
So at the top of it, I will put in capital letters, save this contact, my first name, and then I'll put your life insurance broker. And then I will do company name, what type of product it was, death benefit, if they had any riders, monthly premium, policy number, and then I will put a Y at the end along with their coverage start date.
Protect the daughters.
Like you got this in place to protect, Sandy from having to worry about any final expenses.
Do you text that to them? Do you email that to them or text it to them? Good. That's awesome.
Right
that's a pro tip. That's the little things, the little Hannah-isms. And so any other, before we wrap this up here, any other last tips, tricks, or just words you want to share with everyone who's out there watching this? They're motivated, they're excited, they're going to rewatch this to get your Hannah-isms. And before they just go jump into action, if you had a brand new agent, they're about to jump in, any last things you'd want to share with them?
That you can do it and that you just have to keep going, no matter what the adversity is, no matter what's going on in your personal life. The more, just like problems have a cycle, your belief system has a cycle too. So the more that you believe and the more that you just put in the activity, which is what we always talk about at FFL, the more, you'll reap what you sowed. So I just always tell people to keep going. And when you are first beginning, invest into yourself as much as you invest into the business. And you'll be good.
That's good. That's good. Hey, you absolutely rocked that. That's awesome, guys. Drop an I am in the chat for that present tense affirmations, the mindset, the high-fiving in the mirror. If you guys thought Hannah did a great job.